Hello again, welcome back to the Football Spy Show, sponsored by our very good friends at Renault Vans. We've got a packed show for you today with views from all around the world, transfers from across planet football, and yet another chance for you to be the manager with your teams and the way you want them to line up. But first, let's start, as always, with some transfer news. And I can't quite believe the Inter Milan striker Mario Balotelli, neither can Manchester City. They may pull the plug on their move for the Italy under-21 marksman, because while they've offered him £65,000 a week, he wants a staggering £180,000 a week over 5 years, plus image rights. City fans, I know you've got money coming out of your ears, but is he worth it when you've already got Tevez, Adebayor and Bellamy at the club? City understood to be already making preparations should the Balotelli deal fall through, with Atletico Madrid striker Diego Forlan an alternative, according to the Spanish paper El Mundo Deportivo. Now, in our own Daily Mirror, the Liverpool boss Roy Hodgson has confirmed he's close to making the Juventus midfielder Christian Poulsen his first big money transfer capture of the summer. They worked together at Copenhagen. His arrival will pave the way for midfielder Javier Mascherano to leave the club. Now, Paul Murphy from Denmark has been in touch with us and says he's woken up to Danish TV this morning saying that Poulsen has actually agreed a deal with Liverpool. Thank you for that. Also in the Mirror, the former Arsenal midfielder Matthew Flamini, currently with AC Milan, is also on Liverpool's list of possible replacements for Mascherano. Our friends at imscouting.com tell us that the Montpellier president Lulu Nicolan has slapped a £23 million price tag on the Bosnian defender Emir Spahic amidst reported interest from Arsenal. Back to the Mirror, the Stoke boss Tony Pulis hopes to beat both Liverpool and West Ham to the signing of the Nice striker Loic Remy for £10 million. Also in the Sun, Stoke have lined up a £4 million bid for the Portsmouth midfielder Kevin Prince Boateng. Two stories from the Mirror to bring you. The first is that West Ham have revived their loan bid for the Ajax striker Miralem Suleimani. They hope to conclude a deal within days. The second is that Chelsea boss Carlo Ancelotti's targeted Shakhtar Donetsk defender Dario Serna to complete his summer spending. Zenit St. Petersburg are considering a £21 million bid to take the Chelsea defender Yuri Zhirkov back to Russia. That's in the Daily Mail. SkySports.com say Birmingham are lining up a shock move for the Juventus midfielder Mauro Camoranesi. Birmingham also moved for the AZ Alkmaar Belgian striker Moussa Dembele. He's admitted that they're very keen to sign him in the Sun. The Sun also say that Blackpool boss Ian Holloway is set to make a £1.5 million bid for the Stoke striker James Beattie. Now we've got a few more to round off with. Talksport.co.uk say that Manchester United boss Sir Alex Ferguson will decide where to send midfielder Tom Cleverley on loan by the end of the week. Sunderland are confident of beating Bolton to his signature. The Mail say that Bristol City have been told by Man United they can have Michael Owen on loan after an approach for Danny Welbeck was rebuffed. I do not believe that one for 1 second. And three more stories to bring you from the Daily Mirror. The Celtic boss Neil Lennon is making an ambitious move to take the striker Craig Bellamy to Glasgow on loan for a second time. The Sun saying today Spurs have made another loan bid as well. The new Fulham boss Mark Hughes is willing to sanction the signing of the defender Luke Young from Aston Villa, but he's snubbed the chance to sign his teammate midfielder Steve Sidwell, even though that particular deal was agreed before Hughes arrived. Striker Daniel Curzon is set to join the Hull Exodus by completing a permanent move to the Greek side Larissa, but Spurs midfielder Johnny Bostock is poised to agree a 12-month loan deal with the Tigers, and Malaga have approached Liverpool in a bid to lure the under-19 international striker Danny Pacheco back to La Liga. Right now, lots of contributions to the show from around the world to get through, so let's start with your top sixes. Remember, you can email them to me spy@mirror.co.uk, or you can post on YouTube or the Mirror Football website. Venkatesh is from India. He thinks Liverpool will finish top with Arsenal second and Chelsea third. Interesting to see Manchester City doesn't finish in his top six at all. Samuel Sinclair's in Brisbane, Australia. He's got Arsenal top, Chelsea, Liverpool, and none of the Manchester teams in his top six. In fact, a couple of sensational predictions, as he's got Everton in fourth and Blackpool in sixth. Somehow I don't think so, Samuel. And Garsha Kariva is in India as well. He's got Chelsea top from Manchester United, Liverpool and City. I could see that happening. As for your bottom sixes, Dillion's got Blackpool bottom, West Ham on top of them and Wigan creeping into the drop zone. Evertonian's also got Blackpool and West Brom at the bottom and thinks West Ham are going to join them. I don't agree with that. Gunnar Nixon's bottom six has Blackpool and West Brom joined by Stoke. If you haven't already done so, have a go at predicting the top and bottom sixes ahead of the new season. As I just said before, you can email me or you can post on YouTube or on the Mirror Football website. Now, 2 days ago, Abbas was on asking why so many people had tipped Man United to finish outside the top four. He wasn't impressed. And to be fair to him, a lot of people came on to back him up. We've had loads more views on that subject overnight. Tristan Fitzpatrick is from Canada. And even as a Liverpool fan, he says he has to admit he's surprised by people putting United out of the top four. He thinks they'll go on to win the title. Vinny says most of the people tipping United to finish outside the top four would never put their money where their mouths are. And Adam Barbaro has been on. He says, how can you even mention underperforming in either Van der Sar, Giggs or Scholes in the same sentence? Any club in the world would be happy to have their abilities and experience on the same team sheet. Keep your views on that particular issue coming in. But I've got a new one today because the Joe Show has been on. He's a Birmingham fan. He says, hi Darren, can you ask a question to people? Will Birmingham be in the top 10 come the end of next season? As a Blue Nose myself, I think we'll be about 10th to 14th. It's nice to get a non-biased point of view though. Well, I actually think that Birmingham are particularly strong at home, and even though it's going to be a tough league this season, they will indeed be in the top 10 for me. Tell the Joe Show what you think though, and I will read your views out right here on the Football Spy Show. Time for your teams and the way you want them to line up next season. On the Daily Mirror channel, an old friend of the show, Blue Pepper, has sent in his Chelsea team. Bizarrely, he hasn't included a keeper. The back four fairly settled. Then he's got Essien in front of them with Ramirez and Lampard together. Ramirez having a medical at Chelsea today. The interesting player is a Santos striker, Neymar. Blue Pepper's got him on the right of a three-man attack with Anelka and Drogba also providing the bullets up there. A decent side, but Neymar would be the weak link for me. He wouldn't get into the Chelsea side ahead of Kalu. I know he's a good player, but he wouldn't get in there for me. This Arsenal side is interesting from Chinese Man on YouTube. He's got Joe Hart in goal, not for me, but there you go. Sanya's in at right back with Vermaelen and the Bosnian defender Emir Spahik alongside him, and young Kieran Gibbs at left back. I don't know where Gal Clichy is. No Laurent Koscielny as well, which is a surprise for me. Chinese Man's obviously hoping that Arsenal buy Felipe Melo from Juventus to play the holding midfield role with Cesc Fabregas alongside him. On the right, Jack Wilshere gets in ahead of Theo Walcott, another surprise for me. While on the left is Samir Nasri. No Arshavin in Chinese Man's team, but up front it's Van Persie and Shamak. And the fact that Chinese Man actually gets away with a fairly decent side is testament to the many options that Arsene Wenger has at his disposal this season. This is BCFC.com's Birmingham team. It's fairly solid, quite ambitious, with the Italy World Cup winning defender Fabio Grosso at left back. He's 32, but he'd still do a job. The former Arsenal midfielder Alexander Haleb is on the right of midfield, and he too would be a bit of a coup. The AZ Alkmaar striker Moussa Dembele is also up front alongside the new signing Nikola Zigic. I could see a lot of goals in that team. Get your teams coming into me right here on the Football Spy Show, and I will feature them right here on the show. Now, we're still getting loads and loads of your Chelsea and Manchester United teams coming through. So what we've decided, we're going to have a special Community Shield Football Spy tomorrow. We're both based solely on the players that both teams have now. We're going to have the teams that you've sent in and the way you want them to line up. We'll do a few more than usual. So if you want your team in the show, if you want to take part, then get it in at spy@mirror.co.uk or post on the usual places, YouTube or the Mirror Football website. We'll still do all the usual bits like the transfers and the top sixes, but this section of the show will be slightly longer. We're also thinking of doing a new Champions League Football Spy show. Lots of you don't want me to have a rest. So once the season moves into September, we'll be looking at doing that, and we'll give you more details of that later in the month. The Football Spy show, though, for now, is back tomorrow. I need a rest. I'll see you next time.